Ever imagined waking up in silky pajamas and with butlers right at your service? Briefly speaking, would you change your current lifestyle to live in a gigantic palace? You guys know what I'm talking about. Yep, the Buckingham Palace. The home to the eternal Queen Elizabeth II. From being one of the greatest showstoppers in the United Kingdom to being one of the oldest palaces, Buckingham Palace has a lot of interesting facts to offer us. So why don't we take a look at some of them? Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Lord Luxury. Today, we will be going through some of the most amazing facts about Buckingham Palace. But before we dive in, remember to drop a like. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications for more amazing content. Number 10. ATM inside Buckingham Palace. There is no denying that ATMs are one of the most necessary technological advancements we have been blessed with. In a situation where your card is declined, or worse, ATMs can always be the rescue plan. But, ever wondered why an ATM is needed inside a property? I mean, we see ATMs scattered all over countries in different corners. But inside a property where people live? That is surely a first for me. Well, it turns out, the royal family's bank of choice, Coutts & Co., has installed an automatic teller machine, or as we call it, an ATM, in the basement of the royal palace. We are quite unsure of the exact reason behind this. It might be for safety reasons, or any other reason, but hey, it is the home to the Queen, and we can surely expect anything. Number 9. Woodrow Wilson was the first sitting US president to visit Buckingham Palace. Thomas Woodrow Wilson was the 28th president of the United States, who served from 1913 to 1921. On his way to a conference in Paris, he stopped and paid a visit to the Buckingham Palace in the UK along with his wife, then First Lady, Edith Wilson. This historic event took place in December of 1918. In the honor of them, King George V threw a banquet in the palace. This was marked as the beginning of a long tradition of US heads of state visiting the royal palace. However, in 1977, the 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, gave Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, an unforeseen kiss on the lips. Due to this, the tradition of US heads visiting was broken. Crazy what a president can even do, isn't it? 8. Buckingham Palace hosted a Girl Guide company. Before taking the position as the Queen of England, Princess Elizabeth, along with her younger sister, Princess Margaret, spent their time being Girl Guides, which is the same as the Girl Scouts. Their troop was organized at the Royal Palace. I mean, just imagine how cool that would be. Their troop was active between the years 1937 and 1939. The first official Buckingham Palace Girl Guide company hosted their meetings at a summer house on the Royal Palace grounds. The members not only included the two princesses, but also had around 30 more other young girls in it. These girls were also children of either royals or the palace employees. I guess no ordinary girl is getting the chance of stepping inside this royal premises. Although the troop came back to life in 1959 for Queen Elizabeth's daughter, Princess Anne, it was wrapped when Anne began boarding school in 1963. Number 7. Buckingham Palace guests eat a lot of sandwiches. Okay, this one is probably going to be one of those things which a foodie can relate to. And yes, I'm talking about myself as well. During the summertime, Queen Elizabeth II hosts at least 3 garden parties every summer. It is held in the private garden of Buckingham Palace, which is 39 acres big. The guests who attend this royal garden party gobble up about 20,000 sandwiches. That is per party. Well, who wouldn't miss out on a sandwich, or shall I say, a royal sandwich? According to the British Monarchist Foundation, there are a total of 30,000 guests every year, and they are treated with Buckingham Palace blend tea, cakes, and also a chance to talk and have an informal conversation with the members of the royal family. A true royal treat, isn't it? Number 6. Buckingham Palace was bombed during World War II. During World War II, the British government advised and asked the royal family to get out of London to somewhere safe. However, King George VI and the rest of the royal family members decided that they would remain in the country. His wife, Queen Elizabeth, stated, "The children will not leave unless I do. I shall not leave unless their father does. And the king will not leave the country in any circumstances whatsoever." Queen Elizabeth practiced and perfected her pistol firing skills by shooting at the local rats. However, to everyone's disappointment, the German bombers achieved a total of 9 direct hits on Buckingham Palace. Well, on the bright side, the Buckingham Palace survived such a terror attack. Number 5. The Union Jack. We see that the flag of the United Kingdom flies high and proudly on the top of Buckingham Palace. While most of us think that the flag is billowed simply because, well, it is the flag of the nation, did you know that there is actually a meaning behind the flags billowed high above the palace? Well, let me tell you, if you see the national flag of the United States flying high up in the palace, you should know that it means the Queen is present inside this residence. But instead, if the Union Jack is flown, it means that the Queen is not present and might be somewhere else. Although there isn't much difference between the two flags, it sure does hold a great importance. So next time you visit Buckingham Palace, make sure to check out which flag is flown. Number 4. Amenities inside the Royal Palace. Well, we have already seen that the royal residence has an ATM inside. Well, what more shall we expect then? Hear me out. It would not be a lie if I say that Buckingham Palace has a small city or village within its boundaries. Crazy to even think of it, right? Apart from the ATM, the Royal Palace boasts its very own post office and even a police station. I mean, these are facilities we would never imagine to have inside an inhabited property. Am I wrong, folks? Well, that is not all. It also has its own clinic, a huge movie theater. Truly a fascinating residence, isn't it? Number 3. Clockmakers of the Palace. We are already aware of the fact that Buckingham Palace is crazy huge. While most of the common residences of ordinary people have 1 or 2 clocks, imagine how many clocks would be set in a massive property like Buckingham Palace. There are over a total of 350 clocks and watches in the palace. Yep, you definitely heard that one right, 350. And so, to maintain this insane number of clocks, a clockmaker works full-time in the palace. Also, to ensure that all the clocks and watches run smoothly at the residence, 2 horological conservators wind up the royals' clocks every week. This is also to assure that the residence doesn't miss out on any engagements or errands. Number 2. Buckingham Palace was originally built for a duke. In 1703, the first Duke of Buckingham, John Sheffield, destroyed an existing house in Westminster and constructed a new one for himself there. And this Buckingham House was bought by King George III in 1761. He wanted to give his wife and children a private home, which was not too far away from their then official London residence, St. James's Place. In 1837, Queen Victoria made Buckingham House her official residence when she assumed the throne. Ever since then, the property has experienced several renovations and eventually became the Buckingham Palace and the royal residence. Number 1. A teenager broke into Buckingham Palace. Coming to the number 1 fact, this one will surely keep you shocked to the core. Well, before we reveal the exact happening, let me ask you a question. Would you dare to break into the royal palace? If you ask me, I would never have that type of guts. Well, back during the time of Queen Victoria, a young teenage boy was obsessed with Queen Victoria. His name was Edward Jones, who was also known as Edward Cotton, or Boy Jones. In 1883, this teenage boy snuck inside the royal residence and was caught. He was known to have stolen several belongings of Queen Victoria, and surprisingly some of the Queen's underwear as well. Pretty weird. It is said that he must have got access to the palace through unlocked doors or open windows in the ground floor. And on top of that, during the early days, there was no royal security, so incidents like this were bound to happen. Although Jones had been caught only 3 times, he admitted that he had been to the place many more times. He was then sent overseas, although he returned to his home temporarily as an adult. And with that, we have come to the end of today's video. Which fact caught your attention the most? Let us know all your opinions in the comment section below. If you liked the video, remember to drop a like, and see you next time.